Let's take a wild ride. What comes to mind when you think of wildlife in India? Do you picture a tigress prowling around a watering hole, looking for a shaded resting place, while a gigantic grey elephant serenely bathes itself? Perhaps you think of gorgeously colored peacocks prancing about while a cobra raises its head, swaying to the melodious rhythms of a bansuri player. While all of these well known animals are beautiful and worthy of acclaim, there are several other remarkable species across India about whom not much is known or talked about. Let's find out if you've heard of or been one of the lucky few to have seen some of these endemic species. This means that they are found only in their area of origin and nowhere else. Let's take a tour across the diverse regions, terrains, and landscapes of India to observe 5 such lesser known species. Strap in, here we go. The Kolar leaf-nosed bat. There is a gigantic rock that juts out of the ground in Kolar district, Karnataka. When you approach the base of this rock, you see a wide slit that leads into an underground cave. Squeeze yourself in carefully. There's no room to stand up, so you'll have to crawl on your belly here. Your eyes adjust to the darkness in the cave, and you continue crawling, guided by the narrow strip of light emitted by your headlamp. Do you smell that? It's a pungent smell that makes your stomach turn. You instantly recognize that the smell is guano or bat excrement and excitedly look around because this means you are very close to a colony. Look up, quick! A small fuzzy golden ball with large dark wings glides above you. You follow its path until it perches itself on the roof, hanging upside down and folding its wings around itself like a cape. The bat has a peculiar face with a prominent leaf-shaped nose and golden yellow fur. There at last, you've seen it, the elusive Kolar leaf-nosed bat, a species so unique, with a population of about 150 to 200, that it is found only in this single cave named as Hanumanahalli Cave on all of planet Earth. Unfortunately, due to bats having an unfair reputation with humans as disease carriers or possessing supernatural properties, these bats have been killed in large numbers and their habitats deliberately destroyed. They are critically endangered, however. Over the past few years, scientists are studying these bats and making efforts to conserve them with the help of locals. By instilling a sense of pride and educating them on how this unique species exists only there, residents of Kolar can help protect and promote peaceful coexistence with this marvelous mammal. The white-rumped vulture. You walk along a narrow lane lined with slaughterhouses in Mumbai city. The air is thick with the metallic smell of fresh blood and entrails. Suddenly, a large shadow momentarily blocks out the morning sun. As you turn your gaze skywards, you notice groups of birds flying in small, tight circles above. They have broad wings and pink heads, with dark feathers all over, except a contrasting silver-white tail and back. You recognize excitedly that this beautiful yet slightly intimidating animal is the white-rumped vulture. Once the most common vulture found in India, their population declined drastically in the 1990s, and they are now critically endangered. They are found all over the Indian subcontinent as well as in parts of Southeast Asia. They are scavengers, meaning they feed on dead animals and are often seen feeding on dead livestock, cattle, goats, and others. And even human bodies that are left for vultures, instead of burial or cremation, as is done in the Parsi tradition. These vultures tear open flesh with their beaks and quickly feed themselves, making sure to eat all parts of the animal, often fighting amongst themselves as they feast. Sometimes they eat so much that they cannot fly. As scavengers, they play a very important role by cleaning up dead and decaying carcasses rapidly, thus preventing the spread of disease in the process. When they are not eating, they gather and rest in trees, a behavior known as roosting. They also build their nests, lay eggs, and raise young ones there. Due to aircraft accidents, reduced habitat, and mainly chemical and pesticide poisoning, these majestic vultures have declined in population by about 95%. Slow conservation and protection measures are being carried out, but a lot more has to be done in order to save this unique species of raptor. The Nilgiri langur. You are high up, seated comfortably in the fork of a teak tree's branches, deep in the western Ghats. You look through a pair of binoculars at the lush canopy of trees around you. The forest is humming and full of life, a truly breathtaking sight. But you're here to look for one elusive animal found only in the western Ghats of southwestern India. A rustle of leaves makes you direct your attention to one of the tree canopies near you. What's that? You first only see a blur of glossy black shapes moving amidst the leaves, elegantly gliding along the branches. Could it be? You wait with bated breath until at last here comes a troop of 9 to 10 Nilgiri langurs on their way to find a resting spot to escape the late afternoon sun. They are beautiful creatures with shiny black coats and a prominent golden mane around their faces. They have long limbs and even longer tails that snake behind them, and this is essential for helping them maintain their balance as they walk on narrow branches and leap from tree to tree. What do they do all day hanging out on trees? They feed, rest, groom, play, and everything in between. That's why they're considered arboreal or tree dwellers. They eat a very leafy diet, and you can imagine what a rich pantry the forests of the Western Ghats are for them. They feed on leaves, flowers, seeds, fruits, stems, insects, and even soil, which acts as an antacid. They engage in many social activities and are mostly peaceful, but can sometimes show dominance and aggression to one another. Their language of communication includes touch, body postures and gestures, as well as vocalizations that depend on what they're trying to say. So, for example, in the case of a threat, they let out short, high-pitched barks, and during fights between females, they let out long screeches and squeals. This species is currently in a vulnerable status due to human encroachment, destruction of habitat, and extensive use in traditional medicine. Conservation efforts are being slowly carried out, and there has been a decline in killing langurs for traditional medicine due to community participation and better protection in recent years. The Ganges River Dolphin. A rickety wooden boat takes you along the deep undulating waters of the river Ganga. The constant motion can leave one nauseous, but you are intensely focused on trying to spot a very interesting animal. The water is a muddy silver, and it has been several hours already, but no sign of the creature. You continue to stay optimistic and keep a keen eye out for any big movements in the water. Suddenly, the local boatman accompanying you points at something in the distance, a long snout with jagged teeth sticking out of the water. Slowly, the rest of the body emerges, long, grey, and cylindrical. What a sight the Ganges River Dolphin is! It resides in the densely populated Ganga Brahmaputra river system and is not found anywhere else in the world. Unfortunately, it is endangered with only about 1,000 individuals remaining. Dam construction, heavy water pollution, and accidentally being caught in fishing nets, known as bycatch, make it very difficult for these unique mammals to survive. They have a preference for deep waters where prey availability is high. They mainly feed on fish, invertebrates, using the unique method of echolocation, which is sound, to detect prey, as they are almost completely blind. The Government of India declared it as the national aquatic animal in 2009, and several scientists and conservation specialists have been working to preserve the species and continue to study its fascinating behaviors. The Sangai. You crouch low, hiding in the tall grasses at Kaibul Lamjau National Park in Manipur. The crystal waters of nearby Loktak Lake begin to shimmer as the first rays of the early morning sun strike its surface. Listen closely. It sounds like soft hooves hitting the ground near you. The long brown antlers appear first, floating in the tall grasses. You follow the path of the antlers excitedly, until finally the full body of the ethereal deer comes into focus as it stops to quench its thirst at a clearing near the edge of the lake. Only found within the boundaries of this one national park in the whole world, the Sangai is a very unique species of deer. They have a soft reddish brown coat and distinctive antlers and often move their legs in a hip hop. That's why they're also known as the dancing deer. They feed on many plants, grasses, and shoots. Considered almost extinct in the 1950s, the state of Manipur ensured the protected status of the Sangai as the state animal, which has helped in recovering the population to around 200 individuals now. The Sangai has historically been revered in ancient Manipuri folklore and has been the subject of many legends and princely tales. It holds a similar status of respect and admiration in Manipur even today.